We'd like to begin this program by recognizing that while we gather at San Jose State University, we're gathered on the ethno-historic tribal territory of the Tamian Ohlone, who were the direct ancestors of the lineages enrolled in the Muwekma Ohlone tribe, and who were missionized into missions Santa Clara, San Jose, and Dolores. San Jose State University also desires to honor the military service of the Muwekma men and women who have honorably served overseas during World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Desert Storm, Iraq, and who are still serving in the United States Armed Forces today.
Please welcome Janice Wright, Staff Council Chair.
Hello, I am Janice Wright, and I have the honor to be the new chair of Staff Council. This is an exciting time, and exciting can be challenging. Thank you. But as they say, may you live in interesting times. Staff are pivoting and adapting to a changing educational environment with AI, integrated platforms, and new programs. Staff are doing incredible work and are vital to the success of this institution. Staff Council is focusing on building community, communication, and forwarding the success of all of the staff of San Jose State University. We believe in the spirit of growth mindset and continual improvement. Often meaningful communication and progress include the willingness to engage in conversations outside of our comfort zone. We are looking forward to new opportunities for staff to be seen and to be heard on the challenges that face us all. We would like to welcome the new Vice President of People and Culture, Dr. Harley Newman. Dr. Newman is joining us from Sutter Health's Greater San Francisco and East Bay Division. As a Stanford-trained clinical and organizational psychologist and Fulbright scholar, he brings a wealth of training and experience to help our San Jose State community grow and thrive. Dr. Newman?
Well, first of all, good afternoon, and thank you for being here and for taking the time to be at this important event. It's wonderful to see you all, and I look forward to meeting with all of you. If you see me around, make sure you say hi to me, because I'd rather learn your name in the hallways and not on an org chart. So please just, and the other thing I do is I work out with a weighted vest, and sometimes I walk around campus now with this. So if you see me in that outfit, just join me, okay? So first of all, I want to publicly state that this is an absolute honor to be the inaugural VP of People and Culture. And I want to thank President Teniente Matson and the university for their vision regarding this new division. And the People and Culture team has committed that we are going to live up to this honor, and we are going to serve you extremely well. Before, I spent 14 years in healthcare. 14 years in healthcare taught me the value of working with people who care deeply and can focus intently on health and the well-being of those in their charge. I'm already seeing that same drive and passion here, and it's exciting. Thankfully, just not with so many waiting rooms. Outside of this work, I am an avid reader. I am constantly reading. I'm an art student. I'm an aging surfer, and a really, really scary mountain biker, according to my friends who come out mountain biking with me. But I want to take a few moments just to talk about stories and why they're so meaningful and the importance. And let me tell you a personal story. The video up? You can put that next slide up. Yes, this is really me. So I grew up in British Columbia, Canada, in a little small town up in the mountains of Canada, and my story was complete. My book had been written, and I loved it there. And then on a whim, my parents decided to move to Hawaii. And when I got there, my book was completely revised and expanded. And unbeknownst to me, hundreds of brand new chapters were waiting to be written in that book. My worldview exploded. It became much richer. It became broader. I ended up doing a degree in anthropology because of my experience in Hawaii. And I'm telling you, I made friends from Brazil, Tahiti, Samoa, Fiji, California, Japan, Kwajalein Islands, New Zealand, Australia, and on and on and on. I fell in love with the Pacific Ocean. I learned to surf. I learned to boogie board, body surf, scuba dive. I learned to spearfish and cliff dive. Oh, and then the food. Again, remember, I came from British Columbia, Canada. Pretty homogeneous. The food wasn't great. After you moved to Hawaii, I found out about Korean barbecue. I found out about sushi. I found out about Hawaiian luau, Chinese food, things I had never, ever been exposed to. And I learned that I do not like floods, hurricanes, sharks, barracudas, stepping on sea urchins, and moray eels. Do not like those. But all of these things changed my story. And it just evolved me, and it enriched me. And so I want you to think about something as we think. We're going to come up to these Padlet questions really quickly here. Our stories grow and evolve and enrich our lives, but never think your story has ended or is complete. As long as you're breathing and eating and loving and experiencing life, your story should always be growing and evolving. Some stories should be told and retold. Some stories should change. And some stories should be stopped being told. Why? Your mythology, your folklore drive, what you believe, what drives you, how you act, how you behave, determines the results that you harvest in your life. It becomes your legacy. One more time, let me go through that in a slightly different way. Your experiences, your stories, make up your beliefs and determine your actions and ultimately your results. So, I want you to find the stories that resonate and tell the stories that sort of elevate, and watch what happens here at San Jose State University as we build these stories and we lean into these stories that we have here and what makes us Spartans. So keep those stories alive and evolving and thriving. Now, I want you to tell your story to me. We have a Padlet and a QR code up here. What stories do you want me to know and understand as your new VP of People and Culture? And what stories drive our culture at San Jose State University and should continue to be told and magnified that drives our Spartan culture? So take some time, put those stories in there. If you want to come visit me personally, just come on over and let's talk story, as we say in Hawaii, right? So with that, I want you to consider that. But with that, it is my honor now to introduce our next speaker, Dr. Tabitha Hart, Professor of Communications and Chair of the Academic Senate. Please welcome Dr. Hart.
Good afternoon, colleagues. I'm a professor in the Department of Communication Studies in the College of Social Science, and I'm the current chair of the Academic Senate. And I want to thank President Teniente Matson for inviting me to be part of this event and to advocate for the Academic Senate in this forum. So, colleagues, as you're probably aware, San Jose State University's Academic Senate is a representative body. It's comprised of faculty, administrators, students, and staff, and most of them are elected by their constituents. That's you. And all senators, no matter what their roles are asked to put their self-interest aside as they represent you, your colleges, and your units to get the very important work of the Senate done. So what is that work? Well, the Senate does numerous things, but by far the most important thing that the Senate does is develop policy recommendations. So these policy recommendations often start with an idea or a referral that comes to the Senate, which is then routed to one of the Senate's policy committees, and the members of those committees will draft recommendations and bring them to the Senate, where they're vigorously discussed, debated, deliberated on, and ultimately voted on. The recommendations that are passed by the Academic Senate then go to the desk of our university president for final approval. So think about that. Every university policy has its origins in the Academic Senate. And these are policies that strongly influence our day-to-day lives at SJSU. They include things like retention, tenure, and promotion, general education, academic freedom, academic integrity, and so many other issues. So again, the work that is done by the Senate is highly consequential. And the Senate achieves this work in very large part by applying the principles and structures of shared governance. This requires all senators to come together, to share authority, to share the responsibility, to partner with one another, even in or especially in times of intense disagreement, to engage with the issues of the day and to find a way forward. Now, I am not saying that the Academic Senate has a monopoly on shared governance. It does not. As you know, shared governance happens all across San Jose State University. However, what I am saying is that there's something very distinctive and very important about shared governance in the Senate. And that is that it's the highest level of shared governance, the empower level, where it is constantly put to the test. And the Senate is a place where all the participants, that's your senators, have to work together to develop and make decisions about these policy recommendations. As you can imagine, this can be very difficult work, and it can be contentious. But the Senate does it very well by developing earned mutual trust and by anticipating conflict and debate. Conflict and debate are par for the course, but it has to be respectful. Our senators bring so many different perspectives and experiences to the table, and that is a very valuable resource. The work of the Senate requires constant collaboration and consultation. It demands transparency and information sharing. And the work of the Senate is never, ever complete. It just gets carried on from one cohort to the next. Which leads me to my call to action. I am asking you to get involved with the Senate. Know who your senators are, connect with them, ask questions, share your input. But even more importantly, please come serve with us. The Senate oversees about 20 different operating committees and special agencies, and most of those are seated on a self-volunteering basis. So you can use the QR code on the slide to get to the Senate landing page, and some of you may have postcards at your table. It's the same QR code. So scroll down to the bottom of that page and you'll find links to current vacancies. You'll be able to see which committees have open seats. You'll find information on how to apply. Please do that, because the work of the Senate and the maintenance of our shared governance is the work of us all. Thank you so much. And now I am pleased to bring to the stage our university president, Cynthia Teniente Matson.
Well, good afternoon. I'm glad you're still awake. This summer, I found myself reflecting on what defines a great university. It's not any single achievement. It's what people choose to build together. Thousands of individual contributions across generations becoming something much larger than any one of us could accomplish alone. And that begins with all of you. So welcome back to our returning faculty and staff, and to those joining us for the very first time. Welcome to San Jose State. Whether this is your first semester or your 40th year, thank you for choosing to be part of this extraordinary university and community. This fall, what defines a great university feels especially important. Across the nation, people are asking what higher education should become. At the same time, artificial intelligence and emerging technologies are changing how we work, learn, and create at extraordinary speed. For some, these forces raise questions about the future of public universities. At San Jose State, I believe this clarifies our purpose. Silicon Valley is the epicenter of the future, and we have a unique responsibility to help define how that future serves humanity, not by abandoning our mission, by renewing it. Our trajectory isn't happenstance. We're here because thousands of people kept doing the right things year after year. It's a compounding effect of disciplined work and an unwavering commitment to quality education. We are already leading. Now, before I talk about our momentum and where that will take us, let me say thank you to Academic Senate Chair Tabitha Hart and Staff Council Chair Janice Wright for your welcome remarks. I am delighted to welcome Dr. Harley Newman, whom you've just met, as our inaugural Vice President for People and Culture, and Dr. Monica Allen, Acting AVP for Equity, Learning, and Belonging. Thank you. Also joining us for his first semester is Dr. Chris Kachikian, as Vice President for Research and Innovation and Dean of the College of Graduate Studies. Chris, welcome. And this fall, we welcome two new interim deans, Dr. Shelley Cargill in the College of Science and Dr. Carolyn Yuha, who will join the College of Health and Human Sciences on August 31st. New faces also mean fond farewells. Please join me in a round of applause for these outstanding leaders. Before I continue, let's hear from a few Spartans in new roles.
Hi, I'm Chris Kachikian, the Vice President of Research and Innovation and the Dean of the College of Graduate Studies. I joined San Jose State this past summer, and I'm very excited to join this vibrant community and to build on all the successes to date. Come find me, tell me your great ideas, and if you don't find me, I'll come find you. Have a wonderful year.
Hey y'all, my name is Michaela and I serve as the president of Associated Students. And one thing I'm looking forward to this year is the 20th anniversary of Fire at the Fountain.
Hello, my name is Artur Gafurov. I have the honor of serving as president of California State Student Association. I'm also a proud Spartan here at San Jose State University. One of the most exciting things I'm looking forward to this year is meeting all of my professors and networking with my peers. Looking forward to a great year.
I felt like summer went by way too quickly, probably because it was quite busy around here. We had a front row seat to World Cup excitement with Team Paraguay at South Campus. I saw many of you enjoying watch parties all over, including downtown at San Pedro Square. The ambassador from Paraguay to the U.S. visited us as well, and we had an engaging Juneteenth here in our community and on campus. please take a moment to share appreciation for our colleagues who contributed to our event. The Juneteenth celebration and innovation challenge generated ideas for addressing the needs of our Black Spartans. I always look forward to the fall welcome because it's a visible reminder of what makes San Jose State special and who makes San Jose State special. It's all of you. Across every department, your work makes it possible for our students to learn, discover, belong, and succeed. Thank you. With all that comes my way, I want to state again publicly, my highest priority is the health, safety, and well-being of every member of our community. Last semester, we faced a lot of scrutiny with ongoing issues about safety. I want to take a moment to commend the University Police Department for the work they've done in close partnership with many campus units to ensure safety and responsiveness. We exist in a downtown urban area, one that comes with great energy and great opportunity, and also one that comes with challenges. And while safety is a collective responsibility in our community, UPD's partnerships across multiple public safety organizations and divisions have led to improvements and proactive collaborations. Please join me in a round of applause for Chief Carroll and his team. I know he's out with a lot of students this afternoon. Later this semester, the Dean of Students' Office is hosting the National Association for Behavioral Intervention and Threat Assessment. This is an important engagement to prevent harm before it happens. Thank you, Heather French, and your team. And as you're out and about, I call your attention to a subtle act. We've intentionally transformed barriers around project sites, from fences that separate to fences that unite. The artwork was created by students Anthony Cosina and Evelyn No, and their advisor was Marjan Katabi of the design department. Marjan, thank you. Their work is adding beauty and creation to an otherwise utilitarian space. And I hope you noticed the new signage at Spartan Village on the Paseo. Thank you to the collaboration from UMC, Facilities and Operations team, and everyone who made this possible. Thank you, Maria, Giselle, all of you. Let me remind you, we've accomplished something remarkable. Across the country, higher ed continues to face enormous challenges, yet we continue to move forward. It's not accidental, it's intentional. Thank you for everything you've done over the past year. Because of your dedication and our catalytic geography, students continue to choose us in record numbers. This fall, we're once again on target to increase our enrollment. In fact, we led the CSU in gaining new FTES from the system-wide allocation. Our total increase of more than 1,000 funded students was nearly 16.5% of all new and reallocated FTEs across the CSU. This is welcome news. I know that many of you saw the crowds of future Spartans at summer orientation. Those sessions were a success. Over the weekend, we welcomed new resident students as well. I'm grateful to welcome another strong and large class. And despite a changing federal landscape, we issued $345.8 million in aid and scholarships for more than 27,000 Spartans. Thank you to our Enrollment Management Division and the outstanding work to welcome our new class and distribute much-needed financial aid. Will everyone who's Enrollment Management and Financial Aid here today please rise? Please rise. There's a few of you. I know you're on the front lines today, so thank you, Andrew, to you and your entire team. Of course, our impact in research is important too. we had an exceptional fiscal year with record numbers for research expenditures and awards. Our faculty are using their talents to tackle some of the world's greatest challenges and seeking answers to profound and meaningful questions. Thank you, faculty and their student researchers. And the good news continues in record-breaking territory from our advancement team. This past year, more than 5,000 donors chose to invest in the future of San Jose State. Together, they contributed more than $45 million to support scholarships, research, innovative teaching, and the experiences that help our students thrive. Our donors made FY26 the second most successful fundraising year in our history. To put it in perspective, that's over a 50% increase over last year, and when we exceeded our goal then too. Every gift, whether it's large or small, is a vote of confidence in the work you do every day. Naturally, these resources are investments that advance our mission by strengthening teaching, research, and student success. And it demonstrates the dedication, vision, and focus of our volunteers, our alumni, the Tower Foundation, and of course, the entire university advancement team. Will the advancement team please rise? Woo-hoo. We are thanking all of our donors and all of the Spartans who helped make this extraordinary philanthropic year possible. Thank you, Judy, for your leadership. As I stand here with you at the start of a fall semester, with all that's going on in Silicon Valley and the world, I feel a sense of urgency in this question. What is our unique responsibility? I spent a great deal of time thinking about that question over the past year. So what does a great public university do when the world is changing this quickly? It prepares more people to lead it. Everywhere I go, whether I'm meeting with employers, tech CEOs, elected officials, alumni, nonprofit leaders, healthcare execs, educators, and entrepreneurs, I hear the same thing. They're increasingly asking for talented people. Our region is the face of the future, and we need people who know how to use artificial intelligence wisely and how it ensures to serve our humanity. People who can lead, people who can imagine possibilities, and create with purpose and compassion. In other words, the future needs more Spartans. This is an exciting moment for us, and I've said this before. We're in the future business, and we're serving it well. As Silicon Valley's public university, we have a unique responsibility as ambassadors in the innovation economy to lead with public purpose. So today, I'd like to share an aspiration that I believe reflects the best of both our history and our future. San Jose State will become a university that serves 50,000 students in the foreseeable future. As Governor Newsom says, California thrives because of its talent. Silicon Valley needs more Spartans in every discipline. Students are choosing SJSU. Our public mission is purposeful. It's a promise that we will continue doing what it has always been done best since 1857, and that is to open doors to possibility, to build the next generation of leaders. It means more opportunities for students like Joel Mendoza, whose artwork you see here on stage. Joel is an immigrant and a U.S. Navy veteran. I've enjoyed getting to know him over the past year, as his artwork has earned tremendous recognition due to his talent and ingenuity around community beautifications and the World Cup. It means more opportunities for students like the 20 Spartans who built AI solutions based on real-world use cases at the CSU AI Summer Camp at Cal Poly SLO in conjunction with Amazon Web Services. And even more possibilities for incredible students like Michaela Aiken, our first African-American woman AS president, and Artur Gofarov, who represents all CSU students as president of the Cal State Student Association. And if you're keeping track, we've had 2 consecutive CSSA presidents. So how will we hit the high mark of 50,000 students? Well, first, much of the growth we're talking about will come from SJSU Online and Professional Education, which has already shown tremendous success. That's right. And we're going to do this on a schedule that makes sense over a number of years. Second, we're going to focus on growing while supporting academic programs that make us unique. Our people and our plan will shape how we become a stronger university. Transformation 2030 is more than a strategic plan. It's our roadmap. This month, we launched a new website for Transformation 2030 to highlight our successes and our progress. And over the next several months, we'll be looking for additional ways to connect the work all of you do to Transformation 2030. This will include the development of a GPT called the SJSU BragBot. And it's aligning what we do in each of our units to the strategic plan. Next month, we'll reach out and ask for inputs to inform these efforts. That's where you'll come in. Another example of our readiness for growth is our WASC reaccreditation work. By the time we meet for this event next year, I'll be reading the last and near final draft of our WASC report, which is due in September 2027. This year, you'll continue to hear more about accreditation as a key factor for how we will join together in the excellence of San Jose State across every area of our university. The WASC reaffirmation process is the opportunity to tell our story, especially our commitment to student learning and to shared governance. On that note, we'll be working to implement the recommendations of the Shared Governance Task Force, and we'll maintain our commitment to continuous improving, using data to inform our decision-making. Yes, we'll grow, and yes, we'll intentionally uplift what makes us so special. The common thread in all of this work is people. Growth in enrollment means we'll need to do more hiring. We're restoring and adding staff positions and removing administrative barriers. That last point was a focus of our people-centered excellence work. With our strategic plan in mind, I'd like to share my 5 priorities for the year. Holistic student engagement focuses on degree completion and career readiness, or a path to further study for all students. Over the summer, Chancellor Garcia has established commitments in support of the CSU Student Success Framework and the CSU Promise. In essence, we'll re-engineer our efforts to ensure every student thrives and is career ready. Drs. Mari Fuentes-Martin and Magdalena Barrera will launch an implementation steering committee and several subcommittees as a governance structure to coordinate our approach in 4 core areas. We have a lot of great work underway already, but there's much more to be done. I applaud our faculty and staff who are working to close equity gaps and ensure students are healthy and well as they complete their studies. And on a celebratory note, last week, we commemorated the introduction of Bay Pass to all students. Bay Pass was sparked by student advocacy and the alternative consultation process for a new fee with the intent to reduce transportation costs for our entire student body. Our Dean of Students and Office of Student Involvement are working together to launch a Student Interfaith Council this semester. This initiative is a recommendation from the Interfaith Task Force to create a council that elevates our communication, collaboration, and shared learning related to religious, spiritual, and secular identities. In response to students, we've also launched the Trans Student Wellness Task Force to strengthen institutional support for transgender, non-binary, and gender-expansive students. People-centered excellence remains critical to our success. Our new Division of People and Culture launched July 1st. As a reminder, Harley's going to lead this new division that will intentionally focus on the culture of care and support for wellness, equity, and professional development for everyone, along with all the technical work necessary for our university to function. The changes we're making stem from listening. Janice, I heard you. For example, the Staff Council has shared with me the importance of our community and connection to each other. I want to ensure their feedback reaches decision makers. We're building stronger links to leadership, including adding direct feedback for issues that affect our campus. We're even bringing back our homecoming parade as a community pride point. You can see more examples of how we've engaged in shared governance and seeking input on the slide. And right now, our campus is quiet, but the countdown is officially on. When the gates open at Seth Hughes Stadium, everything changes.
And down the sidelines he goes!
Our team brings the grit, but you bring the advantage. Your voice, your energy, that's our Spartan edge. So let's fill these stands, Spartan Nation, and we'll see you on game day. So yes, we're talking about homecoming. I hope you get excited for homecoming and football season. Hope to see you at Spartan Stadium this fall. And please save the date for our budget town hall on October the 29th. Our people-centered practice groups have also moved forward with initiatives that will make our work more efficient and meaningful. As you might have heard, the Chancellor's Office is continuing its efforts to negotiate salary increases through the collective bargaining process. I and everyone on our leadership team wholeheartedly support salary increases, and I care deeply about the geographical differentiation and the impact of rising inflation in our high-cost market. Last spring, Provost Del Casino launched an academic master plan committee, and that work will conclude this semester. As we continue to grow our faculty and academic leadership, they will refine our program offerings to ensure innovation and distinction across the curriculum. And we're continuing to hire faculty to meet the needs of a robust future. Last year, we hired 49 tenure-track faculty, and this year we welcomed 40. Our new faculty that are in the room, will you please rise? For all of our new faculty. Welcome. A recent reconfiguration of the Office of Academic Innovation will serve as a central strategic resource for all of our academic colleges and units. Dr. Randall Fullington, the new Vice Provost for Academic Innovation overseeing this work, joined us in July. Randall will support the expansion of professional and continuing ed, including online education programs. Also in academic affairs, Dr. Cassandra Paul will serve as the interim AVP for undergraduate student success. She will provide leadership for university-wide efforts to improve student achievement, retention, persistence, timely graduation, and educational equity. They got a lot of work to do. And they're going to support the CSU Student Success Framework. Randall and Cassandra, are you here? Please rise. Last spring and earlier this summer, I spoke about cautious optimism for our financial future. It bears repeating that we have a balanced budget and we've contributed $6.1 million towards our reserves. We're building a financially sustainable budget model through our enrollment growth and the restoration of state funding. I'm grateful to our elected officials who supported our budget request. This year, many of our departments are implementing initiatives to make it more effective for students to navigate the university. Enrollment management and marketing also now have one unifying CRM to manage the student journey from expressing interest to enrollment. And for our employees, we continue to support alternative transportation and subsidize VTA passes, and now 50% off semester passes for parking at our South Campus garage. We'll also expand South Campus shuttles during peak hours. These changes were implemented in response to feedback from our community. As we're navigating the pace of change, we're also focused on how AI shapes humanity and how humanity should shape AI. We're practicing responsible and ethical use and ensuring our students understand how AI may be used in each course, their assignments, and research activity. I've talked with many of you about the implications of emerging technologies on our climate and the impact of data centers on our utility grids. And of course, the growing need to ensure cybersecurity as we ponder the future of intelligence. There are many complex policies and issues that industry leaders and policymakers are wrestling with. Our role remains unchanged: to educate a society capable of sound decision-making and strategic judgment for all of humanity. In fact, our AI-focused academic programs are projected to grow by 75% over 2 years, increasing to at least 28 programs by the 27-28 academic year. AI-related course offerings are also expanding with a projected 36% increase to at least 101 courses in the same time period. What impresses me the most is the thoughtfulness with which you're approaching AI-focused courses, which are now present in all 8 academic colleges. As a university, we must rise to meet student expectations too. Staff are adopting AI to create improvements or simplify their work. This year, we'll continue to build on that momentum. We're welcoming a new cohort of AI faculty ambassadors from academic departments and student ambassadors who will help advance innovation across our campus. We're launching a revamped AI website that will bring together these efforts and showcase the remarkable innovation taking place throughout the university. We'll continue to create spaces where AI-enabled ideas are tested and technological pilots are encouraged. For instance, the digital twin and embodied AI lab is functional, and there will be an open house on September 1st for the faculty who participated in NVIDIA's training program last summer. Lastly, from a governance perspective, I'm updating the Presidential AI Advisory Committee with a refreshed charge and a call from members who will be out later this week. And I'm launching an AI governance task force that I will chair, and we will be introducing AI showcases to demonstrate and celebrate the incredible work being done. Well, there are a lot of milestones that we're celebrating this academic year. This fall, Fire on the Fountain will commemorate 20 years, and we're celebrating a century of Spartan pride with our marching band. As you saw, it'll be an exciting homecoming season. As we look ahead, I remind you of our origin story. Earlier this summer, a group of San Jose thought leaders visited with me about celebrating the city's 250th birthday in 2027. And it just so happens SJSU will turn 170 next year. I've mulled over what defines a great university. I also asked myself, what has always defined San Jose State? In 1857, our university helped to define public education for a young California. Nearly 170 years ago, a small group of civic leaders believed California needed something it did not yet have: a public institution devoted to preparing teachers and systematically advancing the practice of teaching. They believed excellent teaching could be studied, that educators could learn from one another, and that California could prepare teachers more deliberately for the extraordinary responsibility entrusted to them. Those innovators had an idea. They invested in what became the Men's Evening Normal School. Within a few years, the educators who carried that idea forward would make their case to California's leaders, arguing that a normal school would, and I quote, do much to advance the educational interests of this state, end quote. California listened. In 1862, the legislature established the state normal school. Think about that. They couldn't have imagined Silicon Valley. They couldn't have imagined artificial intelligence. They couldn't have imagined a university serving tens of thousands of students. But they understood something timeless. Education and excellent teaching shapes the future long before the future arrives. That commitment influenced the preparation of generations of teachers and helped establish the educational standards that shaped public education across California. And eventually, it became San Jose State University. Today, our responsibility is remarkably similar. Once again, education is changing. Once again, society is asking universities like ours to lead. Once again, California needs institutions willing to imagine what comes next. That has always been our story. Today, it's our collective responsibility to strengthen our university and to prepare the next generation. And someday, 170 years from now, others will decide whether we were worthy stewards of what was entrusted to us. Now, let's get started this fall semester. Let's build the next chapter together. Thank you, and go Spartans. Now we're going to share a brief video while we transition to our discussion of people-centered excellence led by Dr. Magdalena Barrera, and then we will have food and beverages shortly after that.
The Edge isn't a destination. It's who San Jose State University is today. In Silicon Valley, innovation is lived, not just learned. In a community that broadens your horizons. Here, you graduate with more than a degree. You get the Spartan Edge.
Can I try? Oh, wait. Hello? Okay. Well, first of all, who doesn't love a panel discussion before we get to food? And we're going to make this very fun and interesting. Okay, so as you heard, first of all, it's really good to see you all. Those who don't know me, I'm Magdalena Barrera, Senior Vice Provost for Academic Affairs and Accreditation Liaison Officer. And I'm really pleased to have this opportunity to be in conversation with our colleagues and think about what does it look like in practice, much of what we just heard the president lay out as a vision for our work this year. So the president asked us to imagine what defines a great university. And the answer that she proposed at the start of her remarks was that it's people who choose to build together, right? That it's made up of a community of thousands of individual interactions that together become more powerful than anything one single person can do on their own. And what a lovely frame for our conversation, because we're going to talk about what does that look like on the ground to put things into practice that can help improve the experiences of everyone who learns and works here at San Jose State. how do we move from ideas to impact while keeping people at the center of these experiences? And that's at the heart of people-centered excellence. And I'm really pleased to have three of our colleagues. So joining us are Shauna Rios, Executive Director for Continuous Improvement and Program Management, and Program Manager for our People-Centered Practice Initiative. Want to give a wave? Okay. We've got Amy Segerin, Senior Director of IT Innovation and Strategic Operations. And Chris Wessels, who's serving as Interim Vice President of IT and CIO. Okay, so I've got a couple questions for them, but as you listen to what they have to say, I want to invite you, this is the professor and me, take notes, keep in mind what strikes you as interesting, maybe a question or an observation you may want to share, because we want to have time for Q&A after this discussion. Okay, so our first segment is about why this matters now, right? So the president reminded us that the progress we're seeing isn't accidental, that it is very intentional. And she connected people-centered excellence specifically to removing administrative barriers and improving the experiences of everyone here on campus. So I want to invite you all, challenge you to give a 30-second brief introduction to what you're working on and what you are ultimately trying to make better for our colleagues and community here at SJSU. 30 seconds. It's suspenseful. Okay, take mine and maybe Shauna, you start.
Sure. Okay, so what we're really trying to focus on, Maggie, is, like you've said, removing those administrative barriers. We are looking for opportunities to bring people from across divisions together to problem solve. And that's just what we've done over the last year. We have 3 work groups that have come together to focus on recruiting and onboarding, position management and control, and student assistant management and guidelines. And these are functions that support and touch every single department. And it's really about evaluating, looking at where we can streamline things, what should we not be doing, where are we adding value, and where we are not.
Okay, thank you, Maggie. Thanks, Shauna. So I guess 30 seconds, all right? What I would identify is our Hello?
It sounded like the UFO beam is like hovering above us.
Is that better? Yeah. So I'd identify our Adopt AI program that ITS has put in place, and it really is designed to accelerate the use of AI in San Jose. IT around here. What's up? Yeah, right. Yeah, I'll blame it on AV. Anyways, Adopt AI is really a very special program at the university, and it really touches a number of things, especially the staff. It allows staff to experiment with AI. It also has created what we call our AI Champions program. And also, we've been able to supplement Adopt AI with a graduate student team of developers. It's a very focused team that's building applications for the university. So with that, I'll turn it over.
So as Chris mentioned, our Adopt AI program has a lot of different flavors. And one of the really important lessons that we learned from all of the people that participated in the program is the problem, or maybe the barrier to entry, isn't actually about the tech stack. We have an industry-leading AI tech stack at San Jose State, thanks to our leaders here. And so when we were asking, okay, what's the barrier to entry? It was about change management. It was about fear. It's about perception. I don't know how to do it right. And that's real. Those are real barriers to entry. And so, when we're thinking about our learning and how we learn to use technology, it's typically you do 1, 2, 3, and you get 4, 5, 6. With Gen AI, I'll put in 1, 2, 3, and I get Gorilla Purple 42. And Shauna puts in 1, 2, 3, and she gets Bicycle Lemons Donut. And guess those are both right answers. And that's really hard to wrap our heads around, and it's very uncomfortable. So what we're doing is giving, and the president referenced it, we're going to be rolling out some bite-sized videos, we're going to be rolling out some hands-on labs, and our champions that Chris mentioned are going to be facilitating some workshops. So we can get those hands-on keys, we create a community, and we create a place where we can be curious.
Okay. So we just heard these 3 different projects, right? And already there's a common theme of we're not just trying to introduce tools, processes just to change things up and try to mess up people's lives, but rather to improve how we experience things, believe it or not. Okay, so let's move from the initiatives. We got this high-level quick take on what you're working on to what has been the impact. So the president talked about removing barriers, simplifying work, and making the work we do more efficient and meaningful. She also talked about creating spaces where AI-enabled ideas can be tested and pilots are encouraged. So let's get specific. So what is one example from the past year where a change in process, technology, or practice made or is beginning to make a meaningful difference as you see it?
Okay. Is that going to work?
Keep talking. We'll see.
Okay. I guess what I'd start with, Maggie, is, that I'll focus on the grad student internship program that we put in place because I'm so proud of it. And basically, it is a program that is tied directly to things like the CSU Promise and to our president's statements about being leaders in AI. And there is no question that this is a workforce development initiative. So we have 7 students involved in this program. 2 of them graduated in May. And Sahil Matra and Shivik Pankram were 2 of the students that recently graduated, both of whom have gone to tech companies, AWS and to Qualcomm. And they're using their skills that they learned at this university in their jobs working in IT. So it really is truly something, a transformational thing for workplace development. In addition, their work is involving projects teamed up with our developers and our engineers in IT, so that they're working side by side with IT professionals on real-world solutions. So, for example, Bhavna Alluri is one of the grad students that's currently working with Harish Chander on a fraudulent records app. And this is a very serious project in that every single university is receiving fraudulent records. I think it was 2 years ago, San Jose State received 72,000 fraudulent applications that actually made it into our student information system. And it took a considerable effort to expunge those records from our SIS. So what Harish and Bhavna have done is they built an application, an agentic solution that basically looks at the applications in WebAdNet, which is CSU Apply, analyze those, score those, and ranks them. And then it passes ones that are legitimate through to the student information system for processing. For those that are flagged as being problematic, we bring a human in the loop. So there'll be admissions officers within enrollment management that analyze those records that are flagged as potential, variable kinds of things. So this is a very real application. In fact, it's so powerful, I have all of the other CSU CIOs interested in seeing our demo of this. It's something very special. And then, there are other examples as well. Nikita Balaji is working on essentially a language or voice agent that also is coupled with a a solution that analyzes assets. So we see that as being potentially used with our new 4-year or 3-year computer replacement program for the university. That can simplify and automate the processes of tracking down our devices, analyzing our devices, and supporting our devices on campus. So those are just a few examples.
Another example of what's driving success is of that 45 million that you saw earlier today, 8,000 of that was brought in by one of our Adopt AI champions, Jen Jurgensen, who created an app that she created on the day of giving to allow donors to find donor opportunities that better matched their interest. And so that to me was a pretty good example of what's working and how that translates. So she found an opportunity, and what the champions and what this program was focused on, these 4 months Adopt AI Champions program, was starting with the work, not starting with the tech. What do you do every day? Put your to-do list, put your calendar, put everything that I have to do this month into a generative AI solution and say, help me. Where can this improve my work? What can I stop doing? Who can I give this to? And all of a sudden, you start generating use cases based on your work. And that's where we really see the success, and that's really where we have the force multipliers, is when you put the stuff or put the opportunities of the work that we're doing into those new technologies.
And to Amy's point, looking at what work are we doing? So for my example, I'm going to pull from the recruiting and onboarding work group. So, I mean, it was very clear when we brought this cross-divisional group together that department admin staff, hiring managers, and our great teams in the People and Culture Division are doing tremendous work and valuable work. But the burden really comes in when we have manual processes or disconnected systems. And so this valuable work about thinking about what are we doing and why are we doing it, these folks came together and really started to deconstruct every single thing that they are working on, right? And the future vision that has been developed, because we're at Future Vision, we're vetting it, right? We're making sure that this is going to be sound. Are we leveraging existing technologies, not implementing another one, or doing another add-on or a workaround? Intention. We're really being mindful about where we can streamline things. And with the streamlining is careful and intentional rollout of a change management plan. Make sure we have the resources in place to support everyone to adopt this future state. And the experience will be different and better, improved, for everyone that touches these processes. And for recruiting and onboarding, ultimately, the new community members that we bring into San Jose State will feel welcomed and have a consistent experience before they even step on campus.
Okay, great. So I want to shift gears from, we heard a little bit about what worked to now what have we learned. And maybe it's because I'm accreditation liaison officer, but WASC is always on my mind. And we know if you haven't heard one of my presentations, you're going to soon, okay? So it's all about not only here's what we know we're doing well, but we're assessing, we're analyzing, thinking, all right, what worked out? Was this the results we thought we get? What are we doing to reflect and improve and make everything better? So very briefly, I would like to ask each of you to reflect on that. What's one important thing you learned from this work that will change how you approach the next version of it? 30 seconds.
Okay, so 30 seconds. What I've learned and what I'm really grateful for is the experience to work with my colleagues and understand that the people closest to the work already have the answers about how we can get better. My job and the job of this new unit is really to provide that space and the opportunity for those ideas to be shared. Everyone that came together was very honest and forthcoming with the deficiencies of the processes we have in place, and also very honest about the shadow systems that they had to create out of necessity. And lead with curiosity, as I saw everyone demonstrate, right? Everyone was genuinely curious to understand the different perspectives and work towards a co-created future vision. And that's really exciting. And that's the place that I'm going to do my best to hold, is that we create that same type of opportunity to tap into the brilliance that we have on campus.
My biggest lesson learned is that AI can make a good process faster. AI can also make a bad process faster. So when we are thinking about ways to optimize our processes, it's really, really important to take what Shauna is saying into account, which is, who does this process serve? Do I need this process? Do I need this process in this technology? Because one of the remarks that the president made and consistently has made is we don't want to put a tech stack on top of our current state. We want to build a future university. So what does the next version of our process look like for our university of tomorrow? Not just laying on a faster process for our technology or for our university of today.
Yeah, and I think one of the key things I've learned, I go back to my previous job at Unisys before joining San Jose State University, and I managed engineering and development teams in India, and they're absolutely stellar teams over there. But I have to say, our graduate students, and I guess it's because our faculty educate them so well, they are rock stars. They really know what they're doing, and we have found a resource here to help build applications, accelerate the development of applications at this university using our graduate student talent. And they're truly remarkable. That's the main thing I've learned.
I love it. Okay, well, we want to hear from some of you. We don't have time to get deeper in. This is like an appetizer of all the really great people-centered excellence work that's being done across campus, a quick sampling. So let's take a moment, and we'd really love to hear from a couple of folks on what is a question, an idea, a response to something that you've heard, what may be on your mind about a process improvement. Maybe you've been a part of one of these efforts. But pressure's on, because we're not going to get to the food and libations until we hear from a couple of people. Okay, so some folks got to take it for the team. So you can hold up your hand. We got microphones that'll come to you. Maybe they will work. We'll see. Okay. It's a lot to think. Okay, we have a brave soul. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Kelly.
Hi, I'm Kelly Masigian from the Career Center. I'll start with the waist-high fastball. Where can I find information about these labs and workshops where I can bring my ideas and build these processes and tools with experts?
That is a great softball question. Thank you for it. We are going to, in 2 weeks' time, September 1st, Chris is going to have a message in the Spartan Messenger that outlines the program. And then the following week is going to be the first lab. Then the following week after that is going to be the first tips and tricks. So basically in September, these things are coming, and we're going to be communicating them via Spartan Messenger over the next several weeks.
Okay, I love that. Reinforces read Spartan Messenger. Open it up. There's good info in there. Okay, yes. Okay, one last person, a brave soul to come forward, a tribute. For anyone who is into Hunger Games, okay. That's what that reference was. Okay. We have a tribute. He just needs a microphone.
On my way.
Oh, I think one is coming to you. And please tell us your name.
Okay. Hello, I'm Sumit. I'm part of the Lucas School and the College of Humanities and Arts as a faculty member. Question for everybody up there and people in general. We talk about getting students ready for tomorrow's work, but none of us are actually in tomorrow's work, meaning none of us really know where AI is taking everybody's work. So how are we making sure that what we're teaching is really equipping them for tomorrow's work when we don't know tomorrow?
Boy, okay, deep questions. I love it.
I'll take that one. We don't always know the answers, I'll say that. But the fact of the matter is we do have stellar faculty They do their research. They prepare courses that help educate our students. There is no question that they're not going to have everything perfect, but I'm confident that our faculty have the skills and wherewithal to bring forward programs, academic programs, that allow our students to be successful. And then if we do give our students internship opportunities that private industry, the tech industry, are supporting with special tools like AWS Bedrock, for example, those are the kinds of things that will inevitably give our students the right skills to be successful. So I hope that answered your question.
Okay, well, the good thing is that if there's more to say about that, we can do so while mingling and having a good time and kicking off fall 2026. So again, I want to thank Chris, Amy, Shauna. Please, quick round of applause for our colleagues. You can share more ideas and learn more at the QR code. And thank you very much for your time. I'm going to turn it back over to the president.
Thank you, Magdalena, and the whole panel. Thank you, thank you. Let's go have a wonderful 26-27. We got a lot of ideas to put into place. But first, we have food and beverages somewhere here. So please enjoy. Oh, they're back there. I see the bar. The bar is on the back. Enjoy, have a great happy hour, and I'll see you this week.